ज्ञानतिमिरा जनाशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। न श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं स अग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशत न्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरस्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनबन्धुं। Hare Krishna. I'm extremely sorry for this delay. Though I tried to book a bus which comes early, I was humbled. So, especially in the Bhakti month, to waste the time of devotees many is a great offense. See, forgiveness. Nonetheless, we will try to keep the discussion up till 1. Then we will proceed from the start of the services. So last time when we had seen, we had started mantra number 12. Demigod worship we did, that much we did. Now you forgot. We did demigod worship, which was the first part of 12. Mantra 12 is very similar to mantra 9 that we had seen in the article. Anyway, we will quickly recite verses from पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथ मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम्. I was thinking because we may take at max 3 classes from here to complete the book. Though there are, No, this mantra is mantra number 12. Now from here on, there are a lot of similarities with the earlier mantras. So we will proceed a little faster because these themes will come again in Bhagavad Gita. So here it is explained in brief manner and there it is explained more. But my thought was, but wherever there are discussions, question answers, we will deal it to the fullest satisfaction. Okay? We'll deal it to the fullest satisfaction. I will not make you feel that it's rushed. That much I can promise. But usually in a flow, this goes faster. The last part of the Ishopanishad goes faster because the themes are repetitive. Because it's coming to almost 75% we approached almost. We should do shloka test. So only 2 shlokas. End of the session, maybe next time we meet, it will be 10th of November, if I'm not sure. We'll see how many are available here in Pune. Accordingly, we'll plan. Next time when we meet, I will give a slots. You have to choose that weekend or the one weekend later. Four devotees will complete it. No shlokas. You have to tell shloka and translation. Only two. That's why every time we are repeating only two. Though there are 18 mantras, but only two. Okay, easy. In that sense, NOI was 4. But you should all be prepared for Bhagavad Gita because there are more. Okay. Anyway, they are famous shlokas. You may know them. So keep in mind, he will float a message. I will send it to him. You give your names. So last time we did discuss to the third section of Ishopanishad. Of course, we have done this first part of Ishavasya, the second part of vision, how there are Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama Adhikaris, the qualities of the Supreme understood by Mahabhagavat, all that. And third part we started was the knowledge, है ना, Vidya, जिसमें varieties we saw, how it should be seen. In summary, if we have to see these mantras 9 to 11, it is like this. Last time I had shown it, but it is important to understand this so that we understand the rest of the 3 mantras. They flow in the same framework. You know? Usually, when a person decides to worship someone, it is known that he knows about whom is he worshipping, right? Therefore, first comes knowledge, then comes worship. If one has taken to worship without knowledge, it will be for very little time. Correct, right? So Ishopanishad flows first, it explains knowledge, 9 to 11, then 12 to 14, worship. See, the same shlokas replace Vidya with Sambhuti. That's the worship. And the whole theme flows. The concept is same on. So what did we see in Mantra 9? Someone please read. Whoever has the mic near them. Okay, this I have to move it. 1 minute. Read.
Danger of false knowledge. Vidya is dangerous than false spiritual knowledge is more dangerous than materialistic knowledge.
So the concept of Mantra 9 is be careful about the false knowledge, which will be replaced with worship later. Be careful about falsity, because that will take you to greater danger, greater darkness than material knowledge. Okay. The mantra 10. Yeah.
Difference in results of mundane knowledge and spiritual knowledge.
Yeah.
Avidya leads to one result, Vidya leads to different result. Spiritual knowledge gives good qualities, material knowledge gives bad qualities.
Only material knowledge. Only if one is pursuing only material knowledge, it gives bad qualities. So one should know very clearly the difference in the results of material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Similarly, material worship will come later and spiritual worship. The difference very, very clearly one should know. Then mantra 11. Read.
Importance of cultivating both spiritual knowledge and material knowledge. Avidya helps to rise above death. Vidya helps one attain immortality. Spiritual knowledge is knowledge about Supreme Lord's name, form, qualities, pastimes, spiritual world. Material knowledge is to know the nature of material world, working of material energy, karma, kala.
Like that. So one should know material knowledge about this world so that he can become not very interested or attached to this. One should know about spiritual world because he should become attached there. If one doesn't get attached there, how will he pursue? How will he put efforts? One story comes to my mind. Earlier I used to story, maybe in mantra 14 it is there, but nonetheless it's important to say it. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells the story of marriage party. Have you heard? Marriage party. So what had happened is in the traditional Bengali villages, which were surrounded with rivers. So the bridegroom, jo dulha, what do you call? Dulha. He had to go to the bride's village. There was good amount of waters in the middle, river. तो उसको एक बोट में जाना था. तो वो सोचे कि ठीक है, सुबह है मैरिज, तो रात को बैठेंगे हम. And they paid the boatman and they sat. And they told, see, to get us on time, at least before time. Huh? And they all were very happy. In fact, the Dulha was dreaming. And you know this story? And if you want to complete it? Huh.
I think the boat stays there only. They don't go.
Why? Correct.
He rows, but he doesn't.
So that boatman is assuring, yes, I will make you reach on time. Don't worry. And he is rowing, वो कर रहा है और अच्छा आवाज भी सुनाई दे रहा है, and he is dreaming. All others are chit-chatting, and then they also slept. They were very tired. And next day morning, they found that they have not moved from that shore. They are there only. They are surprised. And the boatman is telling, I rowed the whole night. I was rowing the boat. Then what happened? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains, because he had not removed the anchor. Anchor बोलते हैं, या फिर जो भी रस्सी डाले रहे थे. Similarly, can someone draw parallels? He gives a lesson from this. A person is putting efforts, but he has not removed the anchor. Explain it. Correct. You're right. Continue. सही बोल रहे आप. Wait. You want to add? Okay, I think he has a point. Let him come now. Yes.
So I think no matter how much knowledge we gain, if we don't remove the material attachment, we'll stay there only.
We'll stay there.
Yeah, we won't progress.
Correct.
Beyond.
So we may be knowing a lot, but we also have to leave the attachments of this. That's why the understanding of avidya, that is knowledge about material world, is. Otherwise, how will we become? Like, say, in Bhakti scriptures itself, this is described. You don't need to study some, you don't need to undergo tapasya, some separate practice. No. In the Bhakti scriptures itself, like in Bhagavad Gita, there is a lot of description about material world. There is some glimpse of spiritual world. If you go to Bhagavatam, both are very nicely explained. And there are scriptures defining more spiritual world later, higher. But material world's nature, the workings, it's very important to understand. Just like that boatman, rowed the whole night. We will be putting efforts, but if we are attached, then we may not progress much. Like that. Okay. So that's why mantra 11 tells, cultivate both. Cultivate what? Spiritual attachment and material detachment. It is basically saying that. Okay. But we should never miss out on spiritual attachment. Sometimes it happens that we forget about spiritual attachment. We only work on material detachment. Understand? मतलब बहुत ऐसे rules, regulations follow करना, tapasya karna, more focused on vairagya. But we don't develop more attraction to Lord Krishna, his qualities, his activities, his devotees. If we don't do it, then that is not complete path. That is not bhakti path. It becomes jnana. And of course, in Nectar of Devotion, you will learn this later. Okay. Now, okay, we saw this. Rishikesh power is yours only? Someone else? Another devotee. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. So mantras 9 to 11 we had seen. We learned a lot about it. And then last discussion was on mantra 11, last part. I'll just cover that. Because there Prabhupada explained that how one cannot attain deathlessness by any material arrangement. A famous demon Hiranyakashipu tried it. Prabhupada gives example. And modern technological advancements are also trying. They are good for working in this world. They are good. Give credit for that. But don't say that they are the end in all. No, that's foolish. Correct? So Prabhupada, he told this very, very clearly. You like, he gives this example of a lame man and a blind man. Have you heard this? It's there in Sanskrit, one of the Nyayas. A person who has legs, but he doesn't have eyes. And there is one more person who has eyes, but he doesn't know how to walk. His legs are handicapped, So how both of them can function properly? Both of them have to cooperate each other. So Prabhupada says that if the man with the eyes sits on the man with the legs, then they can function properly in the world. They can travel someplace. He has the vision. There is no danger. No cheating happens. Now, what is this compared to? Can you guess? What is the man with the vision only compared to? Knowledge. Spiritual knowledge, but not knowledge of walking in the world. Huh? And one has a lot of knowledge of walking in the world, but doesn't have spiritual vision. So Prabhupada gives this example. See, if you see Prabhupada's conversations, he tells this lame man and a blind man. Andha Pangu Nyaya, it is called in Sanskrit. Andha, Pangu. Pangu matlab jiska पैर नहीं, अंधा मतलब जिसका आंखें नहीं. तो इन दोनों को साथ आना पड़ेगा. Then only they can do something good. Is it not? So the Prabhupada says the state of the country Bharat is like the one with vision but no capacity to walk. He tells this. But the Westerners have done a lot of capacity to walk. They don't have spiritual vision. So let's combine. So Prabhupada integrated both West and East in that sense. Correct, na? Achha hai na? Prabhupada did that actually. So like this, one should not go in only one direction. If we go in only one direction of, say, material advancement, he will become frustrated. He will meet end at one point, like Hiranyakashipu was. So what one should do this important principle called best use of bad bargain. Any of you remember last time I explained this? Best use of bad bargain. Bargain? Now I have to use the body to the best use of law. Correct. So I made my choice of staying in this world is bad. But understanding that I am here, I should make best use of it. And that's the point. This is the important principle. In this whole of these 6 shlokas, mantra 9 to 11 and 12 to 14, this principle is most important. Best use of bad bargain. Okay, so this is how you have to cultivate both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. You should take care of the car so that you reach the destination. Don't just be seated only in the car or go to the wrong destination. Use it so that you can go to the right destination. That's the best use of bad bargain. The best use of using this body is to use it for spiritual purpose. So like that, the scriptures describe. This is based on Prabhupada's purport. So in essence, mantra 9 discusses danger of false knowledge. So mantra 12 tells about danger of false worship. So we'll only go now to mantra 12, and once we complete, we'll come back to this. Okay. So please open mantra 12. क्या बोले आप? Camera off. You say it in mic. I'll just open.
Hare Krishna. Online devotees are requested to please keep your cameras on.
Achha.
Most of them are not having their cameras on.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
I think Prabhu has made very strict norms, I think now. Okay. Okay. So now we are opening mantra 12. Have you in your book? Till the time it comes, let us start reciting. Mantra 12. Andham tamah pravishanti. Ye asambhuti mupasate. Tato bhuya iva te tamo. Ya usambhutyamrata. So read the translation.
Those, those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal absolutes.
So if last time we had seen in the verse, the word asambhuti is in place of avidya. The word sambhuti is in place of vidya. So in mantra 9, vidya is told as what? More dangerous than avidya.
So-called.
Vidya means so-called knowledge, false knowledge. Sure. So similarly, here it is told worship of impersonal absolute is avidya. Parallel to that, is more dangerous than demigod. You got it now? This is the simple crux of that. If you just change this, the concepts go very same. Last time we did discuss that how difficult it is to understand the tattva of Lord Krishna. Sometimes the greatest of the sages, they commit mistakes. The greatest of devatas, they commit mistakes. They don't understand the Supreme Lord in complete manner. At max, one may go to the understanding of Brahmavad. That is, to understand God doesn't have form, doesn't have any qualities. But to go from there to one step above, that is Paramatma, and from there to Bhagavan, it is not possible without the help of Supreme Lord or devotees. Only when someone gets that, then only he comes. Otherwise, by his own effort, he can go up till Brahman realization. Prabhupada used to say, the famous Greek philosopher Socrates, this have you heard? Socrates, very famous philosopher. He was Brahman realized. He used to say that I am soul. You can't kill me. He had no connection externally with India or Vedic culture. But he had come to understand that I continue to live after the body dies. I cannot be killed. In fact, he started speaking on this, and it was so revolutionary that the Greek rulers, they caught him, put him in prison, and they told him, you admit your philosophy is wrong. Don't know, kill him. And he was given poison. Very famous incident, hemlock. That's the poison he was. And he drank it with full confidence that I will not die by this poison. So when Shyamasundar Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, was narrating this, Prabhupada knew about it. Prabhupada was studied in Scottish Churches College. He had learned all Western philosophy also a lot. And he told, yes, he was Brahman realized. Though he did not meet in double quote devotees, still he had come to understanding I am not soul. This is possible. Those who are thinkers, by their understanding and observation of God, they can come to that understanding. So it is possible. But from there up, what comes? Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization. It is not possible. Shastras, the devotees, the Supreme Lord's mercy, without that, it is not possible. What happened? I don't know. Okay. So last time we did see that how difficult it is to realize the Supreme Lord as Bhagavan. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, neither the host, can you read this? Neither the host of demigods.
Neither the hosts of demigod nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages.
So I am the source. How can someone who comes from me know me? The son cannot know the father fully unless the father tells about himself. It's a simple logic like that. So last time we did also know about this definition by negation. You may know what God is not. But you can never know what God is by your own self. Remember the example? Oh, example, I'm something. Dragon fruit. Huh?
Negation ka explaining something by some something is not salty.
Yeah.
It's not sour, but
Yeah.
we don't know if it's sweet or what.
Sweet, yeah. So we may understand what it is not. Okay, God is not like these people of this world who has this, imperfections, body which ages, which has disease. That they understand. That's why they say na iti, na iti. God is not this. God is not this. Neti, neti. Huh? But they will never understand iti. This is what is Krishna. Huh? That is not possible. So that is one part of knowing knowledge. So Prabhupada says, by conceiving of, can you read this? Yellow color.
By conceiving of the absolute in this way, one can at the utmost reach the impersonal effulgence of the God, known as Brahman. But one cannot make further progress to Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead.
See, it's very clear. By conceiving like this, what it is not, you may come up max to Brahman realization. So it is so very difficult to understand God in full realization. That's the essential point. So did we start about demigod worship? I think we started a little about it.
I have a question.
Okay.
In the previous life of Narad Muni, he got realization of Paramatma in his heart. Then how come he progressed by meditating on Paramatma to get the form of Narad Muni?
He had some association, right?
Yeah.
Whose
He
association?
eat Uchist of Vaishnavas.
Yeah, Uchishta surely. And also he heard from them. They taught him the process. Bhakti Vedanta rishis, they were. So he had association. Like Valmiki, all these people who were practically had no chance. But because they got association, they could reach Bhagavan realization. Is that clear?
Do you have any clarity about who are those Bhakti Vedantas who stay there?
It is described that they were actually they were Kevala Bhaktas. That is, they are unalloyed devotees. They were not mixing bhakti with any other path. So, and that's why associating with them, Narada could attain prema in those 4 months only. Small boy. And when they were leaving, they taught him how this world is. They taught him the second part later, Avidya part. Yeah. They taught him little, some jnana, some mishra, this thing they taught him. But their main teaching was Shuddha Bhakti only. And that's what he practiced the rest of life. So they were unalloyed devotees, pure devotees. That much is known. Okay. So last time we did see about how in Bhagavad Gita, the understanding of demigod worship is explained. So who are demigods? Any of you please explain. Who are demigods? Devatas. Demigod means Devata. Jivas. Anything more?
They are kind of a part of the system, like we have this ruling thing. Like there are
Give me
elements.
mic. Huh. They are part of a system, like rulers.
Those who are given various positions in order to serve for various kinds of departments.
Okay.
So demigods are someone like that who
Like
are
some election happens and they come to that power.
they
Huh?
come to that power.
And
Yes.
soon some election is going to happen, I heard.
Yes.
Okay. So they are appointed
Appointed
for some term.
for some
Theek.
time.
Anything more? Empowered beings, jivas. Anything about their bhakti, about their spiritual practice or understanding? Are they non-devotees or bhaktas? They are bhaktas. Mishrit. What does that mean? Take. You can, if you know some incident also, you can quote.
So, Prabhuji, they have material desires also, but whenever the time comes, they approach Vishnu for help.
Yeah. So they have material desires. That is very clearly seen. Someone attacks them, they go to Lord to protect them. Like that. True. So, very right. They are, first of all, coming in Jiva Tattva. They are Jivas. And secondly, they are given great powers by God, so that they carry out duties on behalf of the Supreme Lord. And they are for fixed term. they are not always in that situation. At max, in the whole time scale, there is something called Manvantara. In the one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manvantaras. So each Manvantara, the Devatas are fixed. Fixed means one can take to that post by their piety, punya. After that, they have to change. Like the current Devata, Indra, his name is Purandara. The next Devata, Indra, is Bali. Understand? Bali Maharaj. Though Lord took away from wealth from him, he told, I will give it in next Manvantara. You will become the Indra. So next Manvantara, 8th Manvantara, he will become Indra. So just telling one example like this. So it's a post like Indra, Chandra, Varuna. It's a post like, Amdar, whatever you call, Kaldar, whatever, Mukhyamantri, all that, Vitta Mantri, all that. So it's a post. One jiva occupies that, and that is done by the material nature. It awards that. So there is in Bhagavad Gita, the nature of people worshipping such devatas is explained. See, in this world, anyone having powers, all others, they flock around. Like, say now, whoever has that great power, say ministers, सब लोग जाके उनसे कुछ साइन मांगने के लिए खड़े हो जाते हैं कि नहीं? या फिर कोई भी ऐसे जिसको भी पावर है, खड़े हो. तो ऐसे ही लोग देवताओं के पास खड़े हो जाते. So the Shastras describe very clearly who go to devatas. Read this translation, 7.20 Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I'll put it on share also. Okay. Yes. Those
whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rule and regulation of worship according to their own nature.
So those having material desires go, they follow some rules and regulations according to their natures. मतलब नेचर मतलब क्या है? सत्वगुण, रजोगुण, तमोगुण. तो जो जिन जिन गुणों में है उस तरह के देवताओं को वो पूजा करें. It's described like those in tamoguna, they have very tantric worships. The object of worship are also like that. Those who are in passion, they worship specifically to gain a lot of wealth and some material benefit. Everything, surely it's there. Those who are in sattva, they are also praying for that purpose only, but their enjoyment is little more refined. It looks little more selfless, but it is nonetheless material. Nonetheless material.
Can you categorize, bro, which devatas come under which category?
Actually, it depends on the mood of worshipper. Say now, say Lord Shiva is there. Okay, Lord Shiva is worshipped in mode of goodness also, mode of passion also, mode of ignorance also. Asuras also worship Lord Shiva. है ना, वो एक असुर था जो सब कुछ काट काट के डाल रहा था अग्नि में. वृकासुर, भागवत में ये स्टोरी आता है. Aja Shiva, you give me this. Like Ravan also was Ravan, Shiva Tandava Stotra, something he composes. Very powerful song. So they were worshipping. Those who worship with an intent to harm other person, that is mode of ignorance. Those who worship with a mode of, like, all this black Vama, that tantra. It's all in that, all those kind of devatas also they puja, I don't know the names here. There are many names in my culture I have heard. So like that, they worship in the nights. They offer specific items. Sometimes Lord Shiva is also worshipped like that. That's what I'm telling. It's not specifically only devatas you can categorize. The worshipper, with what intent he goes, accordingly he falls in that category. Like Brahmaji, he was worshipped by Hiranyakashipu for material desire to gain immortality. You understand? So it could be considered either in the mode of goodness or in mostly it's mode of passion. Like that. Some people may worship with intent of even moksha. with an intent of moksha, that also can be put under mode of sattva guna, but it is little higher. In fact, it is not clearly sattva. But point is little more refined enjoyment. In future life, I want to become like this, like that. So basically, what to be understood is it's under modes of nature: sattva gun, rajogun, tamogun. And what these devatas can avoid, the fulfillment of material desires. They cannot avoid anything beyond this material world. They don't have power only. जैसे कोई मुख्यमंत्री रहता है तो वो खुद अपने स्टेट का जो जुरिस्डिक्शन है उतना ही दे सकता है कि नहीं? उनका पावर उतना ही है ना? इसलिए जब ब्रह्मा जी को हिरण्यकशिपु पूछता है, यू मेक मी इमॉर्टल, ही टेल्स दैट्स नॉट अंडर माय पावर. Only Lord Vishnu has that power. He says it. Even Shiva also tells this. That's not under my power. So point is, they can avoid something which is material in nature. So what is it that they can avoid? It is told in mantra number 23. Read the translation here. Antavattu phalam tesham.
Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
So whatever devatas give is limited. It's limited. It's not like unlimited amount of pleasure. It's temporary. Temporary. But what the Supreme Lord gives is reaching spiritual planet, which is eternal. And the happiness there is unlimited. In that sense, it's very, very clearly shown. So Prabhupada quotes these two shlokas in this verse. That's why we saw. You see this? He has put in bracket. So we saw this only in unintelligent. Can you read this again?
It is said that only unintelligent, bewildered person driven by a strong desire for sense gratification worship the demigods for the temporary relief of temporary problems.
Temporary relief of temporary problems. They don't see the real problems also. And surely they are not striving for real solutions. So Prabhupada little more below says how the nature of the world is. The nature of world is that it is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. So if one is trying to attain something of eternal pleasure, it is not possible only. It's not possible. Like in a desert, if you go and try to get a hima, it's not possible. है ना? वो तो मरुभूमि है. वहां पे थोड़ी हिम मिलेगा आपको. You will not get ice or something like that. So one should know the nature of the world. So Prabhupada says this. Sri Ishopanishad points out. Can you read? This is a very important example coming here. So what the worship of devatas gives is something of this world only. And this world is compared to darkness. Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya. That's why it's told. Tamas. Tamas means andhakar. So that way, what will one get by worshipping devatas? Andhakar. Shastra say andhakar. That's why in the shloka, if you see andham tamaha pravishanti, that word is used, andhakar. Okay. Can you read? You have a question?
Roji, we were discussing about demigods, their limitations and all those things. But there are some scriptures and some lectures, what I've heard, that they are still a devotees.
They are
We can
devotees.
ask them for the blessings to go ahead in the bhakti. Like they say, Ganpati, we asked to remove the problems in our bhakti paths. So little bit conflicting, confusing. Are they devotees? Not because what
They are
describes here-
devotees. They are devotees. True. Very good question. They are devotees. They can help you show the right path.
Okay.
They can help you in the path of bhakti if you are seeking worship of Krishna. But can they independently give the result which is spiritual, eternal in nature? No. It's not. Like, there are many examples. There is this one famous example. I think this is Narsi Mehta or someone, Chandidas, I'm not remembering. There was one worshipper of Lord Shiva. His brother was, not his brother, his one of his friends was worshipper of Lord Krishna. So this worshipper of Lord Shiva, he was so faithful. Every day he would go to Lord Shiva without fail, offer profuse flowers, before that bathe Lord Shivalinga, and he would pray in a very selfless manner. Very selfless manner. Very rare to find such Devata worshippers with selfless motive. Usually they have material motive. hai ki nahi, huh? So this is to show how the Devatas actually guide a selfless devotee of theirs to Krishna. So this person was worshipping. One day what happened, by the arrangement of Lord Shiva only, that he got flowers for worship of Lord Shiva, which in mind were offered by his friend to Lord Krishna. हाँ यार, मन में वो मतलब वो पेड़ पौधे में थे वो फ्लावर्स, वो फ्लावर्स को देख के वो जो कृष्ण भक्त था वो मन में ही भगवान को अर्पण कर दिया, ये इतना अच्छा फ्लावर्स है, मैं भगवान को अर्पण करना चाहता हूँ ले जाके, पर नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि ये तो उनका है, तो मैं मन में ही अर्पण कर दूंगा। ऐसे मन में कर सकते हैं ना, हाँ? मन में भगवान तो भावग्राही जनार्दन है तो उन्होंने इसका राइट यूटिलाइजेशन किया यार, तो कर दिया, तो उसको ले आए और ये शिव भक्त ने शिवलिंग को चढ़ाया। तो शिवलिंग, he did his worship, and when he went to sleep that day he got a dream. Shivji appeared, and I'm so happy with your worship today. What I did special? You gave me the Maha of Lord Krishna. I'm very, very happy. So you should actually take to path of Krishna Bhakti. So Lord Shiva told him. And he becomes a very great poet, composing poems on Lord Krishna. If I'm not wrong, he's Narsi Mehta. Vaishnava Jana to that famous bhajan है ना, उनका ही है वो. So इवन चैतन्य महाप्रभु के टाइम में एक चंडीदास बोल के एक भक्त था, चैतन्य महाप्रभु के 2 पीढ़ी के पहले, है ना. तो his name is Chandidas. He was worshipper of Chandi, but he also had the selfless motive, and he was directed to devotee of Lord Krishna. He became a very devout worshipper. He wrote poems which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sing. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is there, Chandidas. So point is, the Devatas are most happy when someone worships Krishna, when someone offers Krishna's remnants to the Devatas. And in fact, any selfless person who is coming to them with that selfless motive, they guide him to Krishna. Another interesting episode comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are sons of Prachina Bharishat, one great king in the line of Dhruva Maharaj. His sons are famous, called as Prachetas. करीबन 9 थे वे. तो वे सब Sindh, which is today's Pakistan area, they had all gone that side because Saraswati udhar behti thi. So they had gone, and there they wanted to worship Lord Krishna very devoutly because their father had told, you go and do tapasya, and they were very pure devotees actually, though their father was not. So they had gone, and very interestingly, when they had assembled at the shore of Saraswati river, from the waters arose Lord Shiva. This description is there. He was golden in color, which is very unlikely. Lord Shiva is usually red, Neela, whatever, is dust laden, and that's why dust laden, वो भस्म है ना, तो इसलिए उनका सही कांति समझ नहीं आता है. जो भगवान के बहुत अच्छे भक्त होते हैं, you will see golden effulgence in him. Prabhupada के disciples बोले हैं, Prabhupada was so golden in color. Sometimes it would be blindingly effulgent. Many devotees have experienced. Srimati Radharani's colors. So Lord Shiva, he arose from water, na? सब भस्म ही. तो उनका वो अभी आए हैं as one who can guide to Krishna Bhakti. So he comes and he teaches them, because they had come with a very sincere motive to worship Krishna. He comes and tells, you are all more dear to me than my devotee. Than my devotees, you are all most dear to me. And I want to teach you a very important description of Lord Krishna. It is called Rudragit. In Bhagavad it is there, Rudragit, one of the very philosophical chapter. At the end, it concludes in very beautiful description of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and beauty descriptions of Bhakti. Rudragit. ये चौथे स्कंद में आता है, 4.24 if you want to know. So point is, the Devatas will always be very happy if someone takes to Bhakti path. And if someone prays for Bhakti, like Prabhu was pointing out, like if we pray to Ganesh Ji with this, and they're very happy. They give blessings for that. But what is told here is one should not see devatas as independently powerful. That is the understanding of demigod worship. You know? So because people can make this mistake of seeing devatas in same level of Krishna and all, this is one of the offenses, no? In one of the holy name offenses, it's there. Huh? To not consider devatas, demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be an equal platform. So some of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, they say don't worship devatas at all. Some Vaishnava Sampradayas, they say you worship, have Shaligram in front, offer to Lord Shaligram or Lord Vishnu, and then worship them. Some Vaishnava Sampradayas have this. They have Devata worship, but Lord Krishna is there, Lord Vishnu is there, Shaligrama is there. I have seen this. They do it. Huh? But people, they don't see Shaligram, they don't see this. They say, Arey, just see, they are doing very grand. So Prabhupada, not to again, because people of today are so blinded. Huh? So he just wanted to keep it very, very clear and specific. He established Lord Krishna and he told, no, we will not worship Lord Ganesh in our temples. Someone wrote letters to him. Can we worship Lord Ganesh? No, he told no. There are many of our donors who are Ganesh Bhaktas. If you worship Ganesh, they will give money. Told no. He told no. So the point is, it's a specific Vaishnava Sampradayas part. But one should know that all Vaishnava Sampradayas understand Lord Krishna is supreme. Devatas as subordinate. Is this clear? Yes, thank you. We went to other sides also.
Regarding the same thing, Pradeep, when we were discussing about Lord Shiva, we were saying that some go to Lord Shiva's abode and they stay there as well. So
Yes.
ultimately they are directed
Yeah.
forward. or
Yeah.
they stay
There
there?
Lord Shiva tells Harikatha. So if someone who is hearing Harikatha, but they want to stay with Lord Shiva because he's a Parama Vaishnava, they stay in that Kailasam which is beyond the Matri.
Guruji, earlier you told that demigods have so much opulence and they always forgot that Krishna is God. And now you're saying that they will be very much pleased when you go to them. If I want to do bhakti for Krishna, then how can you understand these things?
See, the nature of being in opulence is that one tends to forget the reality of the world. They forget, but they never oppose. They forget. Sometimes, like Indra also commits mistakes to the extent of even fighting against Krishna. He does know Krishna Lila. Twice. Indra fight twice. Yes, he knows that. No? Twice. In Govardhan Lila, Parijata Vriksha Lila. So that can happen because of material energies. But nonetheless, when someone is very faithfully, purely worshipping Krishna, they are happy. As we see Lord Shiva coming to bless those pure devotees. So they know the truth, which sometimes for temporary time it gets covered, because the nature of worship is also Mishra. They have material desires. They know that actually this is the highest platform. I am not at that. They know it. They know it very, very clearly then. When Lord Narasimha is appeared, they say they glorify Prahalad. Prahalad is such a pure devotee. And at the same time, they are glorifying Narasimha. Oh, Narasimha, thank you, you came. Because of your appearance, now we can get back our ahutis. Sacrifice. Please, हिरण्यकशिपु सब छीन रहा था हमसे, अभी हमें मिल गया. बहुत धन्यवाद. ये है भागवत. So that's their contamination of material desire. See, one may have knowledge, but to get purified of desires is not just by knowledge. क्या हमें knowledge नहीं है ना? Material world nature. क्या हम at least मैं I am not freed of material desires. It happens when we very sincerely take shelter of path of bhakti, devotees, we get kripa of Vaishnavas. Then that purification. Knowledge is not equivalent to absence of material desires. No. Okay?
Last question.
So not related to this, but as we said, these are superior beings, highly powerful beings, devotees, but still get blinded like Indra. So it is very hard for us then, since they are still so superior.
Yes.
We still should not worship them and all everything. We are to just ordinary human beings, and I think we to have more distraction than what they have there. So
No, in fact, very interesting. In Bhagavatam has many such instances. In fifth canto of Bhagavatam, Devatas are glorifying people of Bharatavarsha. Devatas are glorifying people of Bharatavarsha. Why? They say you people are so blessed. In our place, there is so much of material pleasure, less of material pain. So we get carried over by material pleasure. In the below lokas, there is so much of material pain that he's too obsessed with that pain. But in this middle planet, the pain and pleasure are seen to be in a balance. But more important than this is that you have gotten a fortune of association of devotees, which we don't have. Nayatra Vaikuntha Sudhapagam, like that. There is a very nice verse about it. Even you people are so fortunate that you are always getting to hear about the Lord of Vaikuntha. And you are also realizing the nature of world, which is not very difficult for us. We are so much surrounded by happiness, and absorption in material happiness that we think that this is what is good. Our senses become very pampered. And we don't have positive engagements so much. So that's why our Shastras have glorified that wherever association of devotees is there, that is the most fortunate. The nature of world in this whole of, say, Patala to Brahmaloka is of temporary nature and miserable nature. But how will one realize when one is in association? Is that clear? So this is there in fifth canto. There is one specific chapter only on this. How Devatas glorify the residents of Bharatavarsha. Maybe I'll share shlokas. Let's proceed. Now let's start only today's topic. Shri Ishopanishad points out.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Prabhuji, I had a question. Like you said about demigod worship, na ke demigods are more happy when when we worship Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
But in Hari Bhakti Vilas, like in fourth Vilas, Srila Sanatana Goswami writes a point कि the devtas when see that a sadhaka is progressing in bhakti, especially guru bhakti, they मतलब वो उसकी बुद्धि भ्रष्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं
करते हैं. But with what intent?
कि वो आगे ना बढ़ पाए.
So they usually perceive that this devotee right now is not fully pure. He has gotten material desires and he is gaining a lot of punya because he is doing bhakti. So surely he will go to where, which in Bhagavad Gita it is described, he will go to heavenly planets. He may come to our place, he may become a competitor. Oh. That is the only reason they become like insecure. But those pure devotees, they are, in fact, devatas become so happy. Like Prahlada, they know that this pure devotee doesn't have aspiration only to come to heavens. But if a devotee practices devotional service and he is also aspiring to fulfill his material desires, then devatas become test. So that is something which we should very, very prominently work on. That our aspiration should not be fulfillment of material. We may not be pure at this moment. And it is told also, in fact, in Bhagavatam, there is a verse where Dhruva Maharaj says, that after at the end of his Leela, that actually, I came to you seeking material desires. I came to you seeking material. This was actually, I think, effect of Devatas on me. He says this. So the point is, Devatas like Maya. Maya also is testing, no? Is it not? Devatas also test. Sometimes they may plant difficulties, like in the pursuit of that Vishwamitra. Is it not? Indra. Or even Pruthu. Pruthu Maharaj was doing the yajnas. Indra came and he tried to steal the horse again and again. He was misunderstanding that Pruthu is going to become my Indra. But until Brahma came and told, and the whole episode transpires in a very beautiful way. Only after that he becomes, I wasn't fault. So the point is, Devatas are afraid when someone who is impure is gaining a lot of piety. Ajay Prabhu, is this clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But someone who is purely worshipping, they are not going to. In fact, there is in one of the limbs of 64 regulative principles, it's told that one should never disrespect them. This is one of the limb of bhakti. What is it? One should not disrespect them. One should offer respects to them. And Rupa Goswami also goes on to mention that one should worship Ganesha before starting worship of Krishna for removal of obstacles. But this particular limb, Prabhupada taught us that you worship Lord Narasimhadev. Because Lord Ganesh is getting that blessings from Lord Narasimhadev. You can directly worship Lord Narasimhadev. So in that form we follow it. So Devatas are always facilitating one to do bhakti. In that sense we should. That's how the Rupa Goswami's descriptions of bhakti. Is that satisfying, Haribo, Ajay Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's read. This example is important. That's why I want all of you to revise this. Sri Ishopanishad points out.
Sri Ishopanishad points out that one who worships the demigods and attains to their material planets still remain in the darkest region of the universe. The whole universe is covered by the gigantic material elements. It is just like a coconut covered by a shell and half filled with
So
water.
please pay attention to this example. The universe is compared with coconut. Continue.
Since its covering is airtight, the darkness within is dense, and therefore the sun and the moon are required for illumination.
So this coconut shell inside is dark. ऐसे ही जो ब्रह्मांड है वो डार्क तमस, इसलिए सन और मून चाहिए. So those who worship devatas, they remain in the darkest region of universe because the universe itself is dark. This is a darkness. So in that sense, the shloka says, na, those who worship Dev, you see the translation? Yes. What is the shloka verse? Those who are engaged in the worship enter into darkest region of ignorance. What is the darkest region of ignorance? Huh? Material world. That's it. They stay in material world. So he words से use किया. But अभी मायावादियों का क्या होता है? वो आगे आगे. They go somewhere else. Not out of material world, but in material world. Yes.
I think I don't know, but I have heard somewhere that material world is dark because now it's Brahma's night, and when it comes for his day, it becomes effulgent. Is it true?
No. Material world, when it's Brahma's night, then the material world actually undergoes half pralaya. It's called partial pralaya. Partial pralaya. Up till even Swargaloka is destroyed. The upper four lokas, ब्रह्मा से लेके तपोलोक, जहाँ पे तपस्वियों का योगियों का लोक है वो रहेगा, पर बाकी सब नाश हो जाएगा. When it's Brahma's night, this actually comes in mantra 14 and described. When Brahma's end of life, then all the lokas are destroyed, and Brahma also leaves. So okay, it's not that it's only dark for some time. So now let us go to what happens? Someone who is worshipping the impersonal absolute. So here impersonal absolute means Maya. You should know the word impersonalist is used for two things. One is called Brahmavadi, another is called Mayavadi. Difference? So I will only explain Mayavadi part now. Brahmavadi part, it will come later. So Mayavadi part means, what is Mayavadi? Why do we call this philosophy as Mayavad? What is Mayavad philosophy about? What you have heard about? Let's hear.
They say that everything is Maya. We are all one being, which is Brahma.
Okay. Anything more?
You have to become like a god.
We become God.
Yeah.
We
We have to become like a god. And
we merge. Yes.
They used to say ki, like Soham, we are only Brahmas and all this.
So I am that God.
I am that God.
Yes. So they practically equate the Jiva with the Supreme. Same thing. Now there is something more about Mayavad, which is why it is considered as dangerous than even demigods. They equate the avatars of God to mundane people. When Lord Krishna comes here, he is also bound by karma. He is also acting under the modes of nature. Huh? Higher than Lord Krishna means the avatars. It could be Varaha, Vamana, all these avatars. These all avatars are coming from that impersonal Nirakara Brahma Jyoti. वो निराकार ब्रह्म ज्योति एक व्यक्ति का रूप लेके अवतार बनता है और वो अवतार यहाँ पे कार्य करता है. वो अवतार भी इसलिए भगवान भगवद गीता में बोलते हैं अवजानन्ति मां मूढ़ा मानुषीं धर्माश्रिता. वो लोग जो मुझे मनुष्य समझते हैं वे मूढ़ हैं. भगवान कहते हैं ना, he tells it in 9th chapter. So the point is the philosophy of Mayavad, it actually makes the Lord and the avatars subordinate to Brahmajyoti. In the actual sequence, progression, Brahmajyoti is there, then Paramatma is there, then Bhagavan is there. Bhagavan is the source of Brahmajyoti. But वो क्या करते हैं उल्टा करते हैं. और भी एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज जैसे आपने बोला, they make Jiva equivalent with God. Jiva can merge in God. है ना? So this is offensive. This is offensive. In case of Brahmavadis, I'll tell the difference here itself because it's important. In case of Brahmavadis, they know that, okay, I was following the impersonal path. I follow this impersonal version. There could be something higher or there may not be something higher. Yeah, I know that there is some Bhagavan, but I don't have attraction to Bhagavan. My faith is in impersonal path. So they follow impersonal. They don't offend Lord Krishna, avatars of Lord Krishna. They don't say Bhagavan is inferior to Brahman. They don't say that. I'll give you an example. 4 Kumars. They went to Vaikuntha. But till this Leela, they were considered as Brahmavadis. Oh, what? They had only jnana. When in this Leela, they get association of first of all Jai Vijay, though they curse him. And then later they especially hear the words of Lord Vishnu, how much he loves Jai Vijay. वो बोलते कि ये मेरे सेवक है, इन्होंने गलती किया, मैं क्षमा मांगता हूँ आपसे. ऐसे वो और ब्राह्मणों का गुणगान करते भगवान, तो वो शर्मा जाते हैं ना. What is Lord telling? We don't know. He's making us separate and he's taking these people who have done wrong to be his people. How much Lord loves his devotees. They see this quality of Lord, and especially they smell Tulasi. After this, they gain attraction to Bhagavan. Understand? They knew Lord Vishnu is there in Vaikuntha. It was not that they did not know, but they did not have attraction. They did not have that Shraddha to worship Bhagavan. Because that will come only by association of devotees or by mercy of Lord. You see? So another example, the Shukadeva Goswami. You know this how he when he appears, he also was a Brahmavadi. So how he becomes devotee? Anything?
Yes.
You want to add?
He told you when he went in jungle,
Say.
Vedas Muni sent his disciples to him
Correct.
and tells them to
Ah.
tell 2 slokas of Bhagavatam to him. After hearing the slokas of Bhagavatam, he heard that how Lord is beautiful. By hearing that slokas,
Correct.
he got attracted towards him.
Ah.
He went-
Very nice, very nice. Correct. Very exactly correct. So he understands how Lord is beautiful and merciful. These 2 shlokas were very good. And he likes those qualities. He becomes attracted by that person. Because Vyasadeva sent his disciples, he got association of devotees. And later by association of Vyasadeva, he becomes. See? So Brahmavadi is not an offender. It is a step to Bhagavan realization. But Mayavadi is outright offender. So according to Shastras, they don't consider him as a spiritualist at all. Because you will see now, they are going to go to much deeper darkness. Let's hear that. Read the problems of life.
The problems of life cannot be solved simply by going to the moon planet or to some other planet above or below it. Therefore, Sri Ishopanishad advises us not to bother with any destination within this dark material universe, but to try to get out of it and reach the effulgent kingdom of God. There are many
Pseudo means pseudo worship, pseudo fake. Pseudo matlab false or fake. There are many pseudo worshippers
who become religionists only for the sake of name and fame.
So I'm not highlighted, but read fully.
Such pseudo religionists do not wish to get out of this universe and reach the spiritual sky. They only want to maintain the status quo in the material world under the garb of worshipping the Lord.
Lord. See, ये क्या है? See, जो प्रामाणिक भक्त होता है ना, honest devotee, he knows that I have impurity. But where I want to go? I want to go to spiritual world. I want to serve Lord Krishna. But these people, they in their heart of hearts, they want to enjoy this world, stay in this world. And they also say they have become religionists or devotees only for the sake of name and fame. Such people are called pseudo worshippers. In fact, there are further qualities described. The atheists, read this. This is very
The atheists
asking.
and impersonalists lead such foolish pseudo-religionists into the darkest regions by preaching the cult of atheism. The atheists directly deny the existence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the impersonalist supports the atheist by stressing the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Lord.
So please know that here impersonalist means which one? Maya. So you should know the context. Prabhupada sometimes refers impersonalist as Maya. Very few places he gives the meaning of Brahma. We'll see that in mantra 14 that will Brahma. Okay. So the point is, please note this. The atheists, they deny the existence of Supreme Lord. Oh, very clearly they say, भगवान ये कुछ भगवान वगैरह गलत नहीं है, इसे वो साफ साफ बोलते हैं. पर मायावादी क्या बोलते हैं? भगवान का आकार नहीं है, भगवान का मुख नहीं है, भगवान का कुछ गुण नहीं है. क्या बोल रहे हैं? भगवान है कि नहीं? मैं कहाँ बोल रहा हूँ? प्रभुपाद एक स्टोरी बोलते हैं इसके लिए. एक राजा था जो अपने मंत्रियों को बुलाया और सबको उन्होंने तोता दिया और उसने बोला कि 3 महीना में टाइम देता हूँ आपको जितना पैसा चाहिए उतना दूंगा मैं, इस तोते को अच्छी तरह से आप पालो और सिखाओ बात बात कैसे करना है, ले आ। 3 महीने के बाद जो अच्छा किए हैं उनको मैं अवार्ड। ठीक, सब मंत्री गए और अपने अपने जगह पे वो पिंजरे में अच्छा चीजें डालते डालते उसको पालन पोषण किया उसने। और 3 महीने के बाद सब लोग ले आए, एक मंत्री नहीं लाया था। तो सबको पूछा गया और ये मंत्री के पास आए तो बोला देखिए वो तोता जो है ना वो अपना पंख हिला नहीं रहा, वो अपना पैर हिला नहीं रहा, मुंडी हिला नहीं रहा, आंखें नहीं खोल, क्या हुआ है, मर गया क्या? मैं कहा हुआ एक्चुअली मरा हुआ था, पर वो डायरेक्टली नहीं बोलना चाहिए। उसने जो राजा ने पैसा दिया वो खुद अपने लिए यूज कर दिया और वो बोला कि क्या करूं मैं, ये तोता ऐसा हिल नहीं रहा। So point is, you understand the story? He told that the tota is dead without saying in words. Huh? So Prabhupada says the atheists directly deny. वो बोलते हैं, डायरेक्टली बोल देते हैं भगवान नहीं, तोता मरा। बट अभी इम्पर्सनलिस्ट क्या करते हैं, वो इम्पर्सनलिस्ट क्या करते हैं, वो डायरेक्टली नहीं बोलते, एथिस्ट को प्रमाण देते। वो लोग शास्त्र में भी है। शास्त्र में क्या है, निराकार, निर्गुण, निर्विशेष। हाँ ये है। तो इसीलिए मायावाद को कवर्ड एथिज्म, छन्न नास्तिकता। So Mayavad is nothing but atheism, which is putting the Vesha of Vedic. Because all the arguments of Mayavadis are based on Vedas. One of the classic Mayavadis, Prabhupada says, is Shankaracharya. He's a very difficult personality to understand, but his teachings, if you see, he says this. He had a side of devotee also, we will not go to that. But to know that how he confused people is one important to note. All his arguments were Vedanta. All were Vedanta. But he only emphasized the Nirakara Nirguna aspect. And everything else he made it less importance. So he brings in the concept of Bhedavakya, and Bhedavakyas where Jiva and God are equal. Equality we saw earlier also. That he shows up. Just see Jiva and Bhagavan, Jiva and that Supreme Brahman are equal. Athato, what is Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Khulita Brahma. ऐसे वो बोलते हैं, उसको ही ऊपर दिखाते और बाकी सबको वो गौण दिखाते। समझ आ रहा है? So he made this for a very specific purpose, because before that Buddha had taught and people had forgotten about the Vedic authority. Vedic authority, Vedas को पूरा साइड रख दिए थे क्योंकि बुद्ध बोले थे पहले आप अहिंसा का पालन करो, आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा वेदा का पालन कैसे करना, यज्ञ के नाम पे आप पशुवध कर रहे हो, इससे अच्छा है तुम वेदों को साइड में रखो, ठीक से अहिंसा का पालन करो। But Vedas are important for people to rise to, spiritual understanding. So they had to be brought with a right understanding. So he brought it so that all the atheists also don't have that revolt. But later, other acharyas like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, they came and gave the right understanding of Vedas, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later. So like that, this is the whole sequence. But the point to note is Mayavad is nothing but atheism. The philosophy of Mayavad, it supports atheism. That's why our acharyas have so much told about it, that one should never hear from them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Mayavada Bhashya Sunile Hoy Sarvanash. Can you read ahead? Thus far,
Thus far, we have not come across any mantra in Sri Ishopanishad in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is denied. It is said that he can run faster than anyone. Those who are running after other planets are certainly persons. And if the Lord can run faster than all of them, how can he be impersonal? The impersonal conception of Supreme Lord is another form of ignorance, arising from an imperfect conception of the Absolute.
So what happens? There are some people who are practicing religion with a material motive, with a cheating motive, basically. And they get, wow, here is a philosophy for it. Huh? Which actually is a process. They take it. So the pseudo worship, which is false worship, which is worship with the sake of name and fame, it gets combined with impersonalist or Mayavad, and that becomes very grand, misleading direction. Okay, so Prabhupada will now explain that what it means. Read this.
The ignorant pseudo-religionists and the manufacturers of so-called incarnations who directly violate the Vedic injunctions are liable to enter into the darkest region of the universe because they mislead those who follow them. These impersonalists generally pose themselves as incarnations of God to foolish persons who have no knowledge of Vedic wisdom. If such foolish men have any knowledge at all, it is more dangerous in their hands than ignorance itself.
My God, see Prabhupada told directly. They have Vedic knowledge, they speak, but it is more dangerous. Because the whole purpose is to say that God is impersonal, you can become God. Whenever avatars come there, like us. So it's a clear offense. जैसे कि अभी प्रभु बैठे हैं, अभी मेरे सामने बैठे, तो मैं बोलता हूँ कि ये नहीं है, इनके हाथ नहीं, इनका पैर नहीं, इनका ये नहीं, फिर मैं हूं ना, मतलब दिखना है. So how can someone who is sensible understand it, accept? So the devotees are practically intolerant about this. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke against so much Maya. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he preached against Maya was so much. Srila Prabhupada's Pranati mantra has. कहाँ है प्रभु? धन्यवादी master. So Prabhupada specifically took this. He preached it. If you go to specific sampradayas like Madhva Sampradaya, Madhvacharya was vehemently against Maya. So बहुत सारे लीलास हैं. But point is they mislead. See, the danger is if they are following themselves, ठीक है. But you take so much of people, show Vedas, you see, we are talking Vedas, take them in wrong direction. ये तो मास रूप में परोपकार नहीं है ना, गलत जगह पे आप ले जा रहे हो, अनाचार जो भी है ना. So it is very dangerous. So why is worship of the impersonal path more dangerous than demigod worship? Because they mislead public. It's offensive, surely. That's also one of the important reasons. But it is considered more dangerous also is because they mislead the general mass of people. Demigod, they go out to preach, they in fact show Vedas as pramanas, like that. So it's more misleading. One example I learned. See here there is a glass, glass window. जो छोटा मक्खी रहता है, वो समझ नहीं आता है ग्लास. क्या करता है? अगर वहां पे दीवार था, तो समझ जाएगा कि इधर जाने का रास्ता नहीं. पर यहाँ पे ग्लास, तो क्या सोचेगा वो? अरे जा सकता हूँ. और क्या करेगा वो? बुरा देगा. और उस भ्रम से बाहर आना बहुत है ना. किसको समझ आया? Sometimes I use your earlier names because I have not remembered. Sorry.
आप बता रहे थे कि ग्लास है तो वो मक्खी को दिखाई नहीं देता, लेकिन वॉल रहेगा तो उसको दिखाई देगा.
लेकिन ग्लास के वजह से उसको ऐसा लगता है कि मैं जा सकता हूँ, मैं जा सकता हूँ, और उसके यही उसका कारण रहता है जो उसको उसमें अटका के रहता है, और वो इसीलिए प्रयास करते रहता है। तो ये गलत है, प्रयास करते रहता है, गलत जगह पे प्रयास करता है।
क्योंकि बाहर का दुनिया देख रहा है ना, वो बाहर दिख रहा है, अरे लाइट आ रही है, मतलब ये जा सकता हूँ मैं, पर ये जो बैरियर है वो समझ ही नहीं आ रहा। सो मिसलीडिंग इज मोस्ट डेंजरस। ठीक है, आपको आता नहीं तो साफ साफ बोलो, आपको इसमें भगवान के बारे में पता नहीं तो साफ साफ बोलो, पर नहीं नहीं मुझे पता है, शास्त्र पता है मुझे, पर मीनिंग मरोड़ देते हो, है ना? Dangerous. That's why it's told it's more dangerous in the hands than ignorance. Ignorance मतलब पता नहीं, साफ साफ पता होता है, yes yes is not. हाँ,
So they do they also read Bhagavad Gita and Gita also?
yes.
So then how do they
So
do
the
the
Shankaracharya wrote an explanation of Bhagavad Gita, which is not even the explanation. He did not touch Bhagavatam because he knew that would be very displeasing to Lord. Because Bhagavatam is very dear to Lord, and it has direct description of Bhagavatam. Very difficult to make Bhagavatam, but still some people try that. But the Bhagavad Gita they interpret like Upanishads, they fully do that.
भगवान के आदेश के अनुसार ही किया या उन्होंने ऐसे
भगवान के आदेश था, आपको पता है?
पता है?
आदेश था, शिव जी को आदेश था कि आप जाके ऐसे कुछ गलत मत का प्रचार करो, ताकि जिनको भक्ति में श्रद्धा नहीं, जिनका मोटिव गलत है, वो साफ साफ सपरेट हो जाए। इसका रेफरेंस कहाँ पे है? इसका रेफरेंस पद्म पुराण में एक आता है, मैं आपको कोट करता हूँ, ये दो चीज याद रखता हूँ मुझे, दैट वासिस ग्लोरीफाइंग, sorry, Swargavasi is glorifying that, and this is very clearly it comes, where Shiva is speaking to Parvati, a verse where he says, I will come in Kali Yuga and preach Mayavadam Asat Shastram Prachannam Bauddham Uchyate. There is a verse like this. असत शास्त्र है ये मैं प्रचार करूंगा, इसे शिव जी खुद बोलते हैं पद्म पुराण। Prabhupada has quoted it. We'll read this. Since the entire
material universe is impermanent, whatever is achieved within the darkness of material existence is also impermanent. The question is how to obtain real and permanent life.
So the demigod worshippers, they stay in this world, which is dark. So what they get? Darkness. First time. Now the Mayavadis, because they do a great disservice, they go to hell, which is darkness surely, which is in this world, which is very, very dark. And so that's why it is told in the shloka, if you see the translation of the shloka, still more do the worshippers of absolute. That is Mayavad. So Mayavad is actually they enter hell.
But Prabhu, don't they go to Brahmajyoti?
No. No. Brahmajyoti, you cannot go with such offensive understanding.
Because they say we merge.
No. No. See, the merging is one very light aspect, but they say something more offensive, no? To make Bhagavan as inferior to Brahman, to equate Jiva with Supreme, and activities of Supreme Lord as mundane. That's why, if you see this shloka Bhagavad Gita shows.
So it's mentioned that they go to Brahmajyoti, but again after some time they fall down. Who are those?
And so much. This is Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Okay. So this is exactly my philosophy. Read this. Fools
deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that.
So, crux of Mayavad is to have this wrong understanding of Bhagavan. Okay. And what happens to them? Krishna says in next book.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic.
This is a demoniac and atheistic view. Krishna says, continue in that.
In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
So they will not attain liberation.
So who goes to the Brahman?
Brahmavadis.
Brahman. Not by all.
Not. One cannot transcend this world with such an offensiveness. Brahmavadis stay with this.
Truly, in Brahmavadis only, when we were talking about Sukadeva Goswami, when he was in the womb and he was not coming out, he was considered as a Brahmavadi. But then how, means why was that, means why did that happen in that way? Because he's already means known everything and speaking all that, and then why?
And that was to show, Lord wanted to show that Leela like that, that how, see, there are many reasons for it happening. You must have also heard Shukadeva Goswami's internal parrot of Srimad too. Is it not? That every jiva has a swarupa with Supreme Lord. Correct, na? So that reason should not be brought in to explain this. What is to be seen? He exhibited as a Brahma. And then later he exhibited as a devotee because of association of devotees. That's the case. Otherwise, we go into wrong realms of explanation. You know, smudging of reasoning will. Okay.
Prabhuji, but sometimes we hear that Sukadeva Goswami, when they told him to recite Bhagavatam or tell Bhagavatam, then he gives an explanation that I need to hear or learn Bhagavatam from a devotee first. Therefore, some stories come that he's a parrot and he heard Bhagavatam, he saw what everything Krishna did. And sometimes we also heard that the same parrot heard Bhagavatam from Shiva.
That was earlier, na?
Yeah, but those in actual in that substance things are happening like that. Then how did he become Brahmavadi when even
So
after
it was to reveal that incident, it was to reveal that tattva,
what that was?
that how a Brahmavadi becomes a devotee. There is a very specific shloka in Bhagavatam. It was very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. आत्मा रामश्च मुनयो निर्ग्रंथ पिरुक्रमे. जो आत्माराम होते हैं, मतलब ब्रह्मवादी जो होते हैं, वो आत्माराम मतलब सेल्फ सेटिस्फाइड, वो किसी भौतिक चीज पे वो आकर्षित नहीं होते. बट क्या हो गया इनके जीवन में? निर्ग्रंथ पिरुक्रमे कुर्वन्ति अहैतुकीं भक्ति इत्थं भूतगुणो हरिः. But when he heard the gunas of Lord Hari, it was so attractive to him. An Atma Rama, he heard the gunas of Lord Hari, he became so attracted to him. And he performed what is called Ahituki Bhakti, which is unalloyed devotion. Atma Rama, इसको भौतिक जगत से कुछ लेना देना है ही नहीं. Already मुक्ति के स्तर पे है वो किस पे आकर्षित? मतलब केवल और केवल आध्यात्मिक चीजों पे ही आकर्षित होगा. तो भगवान के गुण इतने आकर्षक हैं कि ऐसे आत्माराम को भी वे आकर्षित करते. ये समझाने के लिए वो लीला हुई. ठीक है? Is that clear? I hope.
Yes.
So Lord's qualities are supremely spiritual. They are not material by nature. It was to show that. Okay. Anyway, we'll discuss after class if you have any other question. But I want to complete this shloka at least. Today, I am defeated in my hopes of liberation of my own. Anyway, okay, read the highlighted part. Pseudo-religionists.
The pseudo-religionists have neither knowledge nor detachment from material affairs. For most of them, want to live in the golden shackles of material bondage under the shadow of philosophic activities disguised as religious principles.
So most of the time, these Mayavadis, they do what is called a philanthropic activity. मतलब परोपकार. बहुत सारे जो institutions हैं, they do this only majorly, and that is advertised as spiritual. Open schools, open anathalaya, open college, open hospitals. This is considered very spiritual. because they don't have any positive absorption. They have to go into this selfless material act. Actually, it's not selfless, but it is material only. But if they have rejected everything about this world, why will they come and do material activity? It's a question for them to answer. समझ आ रहा है? वो बोले ना कि सब कुछ इधर मिथ्या है, बोलते हैं जगत मिथ्या है, तो फिर से क्यों इसी मिथ्या पे आप उलझ रहे हो? करेक्ट? क्योंकि वे उस परम सत्य में रम नहीं पा रहे हैं. They are not attracted to personality of Bhagavan.
Is it correct that Prabhupada also calls this as extended self-gratification, sense gratification?
Extended sense gratification is explained in many ways. One of them could be this. Extended basically means not my immediate body, or it could be to my community, my country, my race, my species. So it can be. So it's a golden shackle. You know, see this pseudo religion Mayavad is a golden shackle. मतलब ऐसा ये है, हैंडकफ डाला है, पर ये गोल्डन है, दिखने में अच्छा लगता है, पर क्या है आप कहते हो? That is not understood. So such a false display will not actually lead to anywhere. Sometimes such people, they even do immoral activities in the name of religious. So this is all very, very misleading. So Prabhupada very much warns this, and he calls them rogues. Right?
These rogues are the most dangerous elements in human history because there is no religious government. They escape punishment by the law of the state. They cannot power escape the law of the supreme, who has
clearly declared.
who has clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita that envious demons, the grab of religious propagandists, shall be thrown into the darkest region of hell.
So ये actually इनका mentality क्या है? Demoniac, राक्षसी वृत्ति, पर ये दिखने में धार्मिक दिखते हैं. और ऐसे लोगों को भगवान 16वें अध्याय में 16th chapter he has told such people go to deepest of hells. 16th chapter last verses. He becomes so angry that he says, I will cast them to hell for life of. It's not that God, someone has to take birth in hell life after life after. No. Lord will always give them a better opportunity to rise above. But the anger of Lord is such that you are misleading people in the vesha of dharmikta, adhyatmikta, and you have such demonic. Better is to show yourself as demon. Why you have to wear like this? And so Prabhupada explains, if you want to know more, you read this shlokas, Prabhupada tells very stuff. Read this last.
Shri Ishopanishad confirms that these pseudo-religionists are heading toward the most obnoxious place in the universe after the completion of their spiritual master business, which they conduct simply for sense gratification.
So the worship of devatas, it is keeping one in this material world. It is giving darkness. But worship as done by Mayavadis, that is it. It will go in deepest of hells, is more deeper dark. So choose between them. Both are darkness. So what is to be chosen? That will come in the next verse. You should choose neither actually. If you are intelligent, you should actually go and choose something better. Anyway, we saw this. Yeah. Pseudo worship. So there is another description like this, that a wolf comes in the guise of a lamb, so a pack of lambs, and it attacks all lambs. So it is compared out. So we saw how this last part we saw more today. Pseudo worshippers. This is there at us. Anyway, I think it's fun. So one of the very important pastime which comes in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is Keshava Kashmiri. Where Mother Saraswati becomes happy. And अरे ये तो मेरे भगवान हैं, तो इनसे हार रहे हो ना, ये बहुत अच्छा है तेरे. And that Keshav Kashmiri becomes, it comes in a dream. Saraswati tells you, go and take shelter of this. No, Avatari Krishna है, Krishna ही है. ऐसे. Anyway, so this example of coconut also we forgot to show the slides. ठीक है. think today we. But anyway, next session, when it could be.
So yeah, we are coming, I think I'm coming the most relaxed thing. I'm coming on 10th of November, Sunday. So because lot of you would, even you take a train immediately after that, by the time you come here on Saturday, only. So a lot of them taking train on Saturday. Only. So you can come here on Sunday. I think that 10th wala weekend you have to risk.
आप सबको बाकी लोग मैं किधर नहीं आप मैं 11 को आ जाऊंगा 11 को आ जाएंगे तो 11 संडे है ये 11 मंडे 10 संडे 10 संडे
You're coming
Next,
here,
17th.
10 a.m.
oh say
10/17.
you are that marathon is there no not there but online we can do there is no not
You can do a batch or the recitation batch. But you plan something. You can do. I am also.
the shloka test is after the class it's never in the time of class okay so time exactly we'll see if how many are available we have to check on 10 श्लोका टेस्ट भी क्लास के बाद करना है तो क्लास के लिए कितने लोग फिजिकली रहेंगे वो देखेंगे हम रहेंगे मैं रहूंगा मैं सैटरडे को पहुंचना 7th I am leaving from there
If you do it 12 something,
12
10. If you do a timing as a 12 or something,
or evening
could
or
possibly
afternoon
you could possibly other evening.
I have to pick my ticket tell me I wanted to leave Sunday but ठीक है
For everyone we conduct.
श्लोका टेस्ट how it will be like कितने लोग हैं हाँ 4 लोग हर क्लास में 4 लेंगे और फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व लास्ट दिन को ऐसे नहीं कि 8 आएंगे नहीं 4 ही आएंगे अगर आपको पहले लास्ट स्लॉट बुक करना है तो पहले डाल बाद में फ्रीज हो जाए तो बाकी को आपको रिसेट डेट ही लेना पड़ेगा ऐसे स्टोरीज लोग हैं इट्स नॉट वेरी डिफिकल्ट हां इट्स नॉट डिफिकल्ट ठीक है should we end the session Shrikish bro is that fine Shrikish bro Hare Krishna. We end the class today. Prabhupada, the Prasad, very